I have accepted and I'm back on screen. Sure. So let's start. Let me share my screen and
Before you do, Amrita, let me quickly introduce you. You can
yes, yes,
keep your
yes.
keep your tab open. That's fine. So for the rest of you who've not necessarily seen Amrita's bio in detail, I'll just quickly tell you that she's currently working as a senior product manager at Thomson Reuters. She, over the past 13 years, has specialized in high stakes pivots, transforming legacy infrastructure into high margin, recurring revenue engines for global organizations such as Reuters, HSBC, and Deloitte. Her methodology, the product scientist, which you'll be hearing about today, replaces intuition based roadmap building with an evidence led, hypothesis driven approach. So, looking forward to for this to convert from jargon to something that this entire group can take forward and make it
Absolutely.
applicable. Yeah, go
Sure.
ahead over to you, Amrita.
Thanks, Karen, for the introduction. Let me quickly share my screen and apologies for all the jargon. I will. So this is more or less like on the framework that I'm building and incorporate, high flying words sounds very nice. So I just added them, but I'll drill down everything and I'll make it like as lucid as possible. And more interestingly, I don't want this session to be like, oh, someone is sitting there talking and we just listen to what she has to say and we go back. No, we interact because the entire outcome from this program is or this masterclass is I want you all to have a clear understanding of the product management role. Because when I was trying to make this transition to product management, there was so much noise around it. Like, oh, you have done this, you cannot be a PM. Oh, PM requires X, Y, and Z. This is not how it works. Like, there were so many certifications, there were so much like commercial aspect to, PMing that was going on. And the interesting bit is with advent of AI, lot of that, big ticket items like creating PRDs, creating design documents and X and Y has actually been commoditized. So in this session, I intend to cover 3 units. The first part is based on the questions that I had received from all of you who had joined in, which gives you a clarity on what product management is all about, what are the different type of product managers. I am in a particular role today, which is like my natural next step. Will AI dilute the role of product management? I remember when AI became a big thing in 2022, 23. The biggest thing was like, oh, PM is dead, we just need engineers. Then it's like, engineers are dead, we just need something else. No, nobody is dead. First of all roles are alive. It's just that it has moved. And the most beautiful thing about artificial intelligence is for the first time, human intelligence, human thinking is of real use. We won't be spending a lot of time doing busy work like formatting PPTs or like building PRDs, creating a 30-page document around a product scenario. No, we use judgment. And that is what I'm going to walk you through, that how AI has impacted the role of product management and what really is here to stay. The second part is we look into the lens of a product scientist. Now, product scientist is just like a word like vibe coding. Okay, I just came up with it. It's nothing. It is application. So what a scientist basically does, right? He or she has a hypothesis. He or she will conduct experiments, and she or he, depending upon the results of that experiment, will either publish a paper or say that XYZ causes ABC, right? So this decision, this final layer of information, the fact that the scientist is presenting is based on an experiment. And that is how I see a true product management scenario to be, where you're just not, shipping features or like, oh, we are building a fitness app. Let's add 20 bells and whistles and make it look very fancy. No, if I'm building a fitness app, what are my customers going to get out of it? What economic value a particular feature is going to add? And finally, how me as an entrepreneur will make money, how me as an employer will ensure that the bottom line of my company looks good, and the revenue stream keeps moving. And the third phase, we'll talk about metric debt. I mean, I don't know how many engineers are here, but every engineering team, there's one word. I think, Shrishti, you're an engineer, you know. Tech debt will come out loud. Like everybody, oh, this will accrue tech debt. But nobody talks about metric debt and how that basically is the reason why you have tech debt today and how it can kill your entire product. So that is what we will be looking in today's session.
Amrita, could you
So
please go into presentation mode?
yep, yep,
Right now, you can.
I'll do that. All good?
Perfect. Thank
Sure. So let's first talk about, in a general sense, what a product manager usually does. So a product manager sits between engineering, business, design, legal, marketing, sales, and all other functions you can think of. And at the same time, a product manager has nobody reporting to them. If you're a director, you'll have senior PMs reporting. You're a senior PM, you'll have PMs reporting. You're a PM, you'll have APM reporting. Otherwise, you have no authority over anybody. So the biggest, I think the most innate skill set of a product manager would be like how you influence people. And for that, you have to know what value your product is going to have on any department. Be it if marketing, you ask marketing to do some campaigns, what success metrics will they be tracking? What your product is actually, providing that they're going to talk out loud. When it comes to legal, are you within, your compliance? Especially, I have worked in banking and, all high stakes industry like healthcare, consumer products with people's, money, people's lives, etc. at stake. So legal will always be like very cautious of you trying to do anything fancy because the cost is too high. So this is like the overview of a product manager's role. They just sit in between everybody. They see a business problem, they create a solution to the business problem, and then they work with multiple stakeholders, be it uh, engineering, etc., to create that entire product. With engineering, they will work to build the product. With design, they will work on the UI UX part. With the marketing, they will ensure that they push the right components. With sales, they will fight always. With legal, they'll ensure that all the checks and balances are in place. So this is the overview of the role of a PM. Now, with the advent of AI and like AI is going to kill everything, what part of the role will become commoditized? Of course, AI is going to impact every role. It has impacted roles and organizations. So, what I think AI beautifully does, and I use this in my day to day life, is creating PRD drafts. Like, you won't believe this frontier models are like brilliant in creating like a huge 20-page PRD, but a lot of it is like slop. So you have to go and like clean that up. But where you, as a person, become essential is problem framing. AI will not know what your problem is. It's like a co pilot, right? It's an assistant. So you have to be the brain to go and tell it that this is the problem. Now create the PRD. It is very good at meeting summaries. I know we have a note taker in this meeting as well, right? So, and this is very beautiful because the busy work is taken care of. You don't have to go back to recordings and listen, oh, he said, she said, blah, 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 and then summarize. You get quick summaries. But that part is taken care of by AI, right? But the judgment bit becomes important. X has said this, Y has said this, but I'm going to do some Z thing. Why? How you're going to convince X and Y that what you said is not important. What I'm saying and what I'm proposing is most important. That is where a product scientist or like a hypothesis driven product manager comes into picture. AI will do your ADO work, Jira stories. That's really good. Like you're relieved. You have time freed up for making trade-off decisions. Which feature I'm going to prioritize? Why I'm going to go to an create a GTM plan, go to market plan for X market right now. That's where, human skills come into picture. It will do your competitive research, but you are going to do the strategy. It's going to do basic analysis like, logistic regression, blah, blah, blah. But you are going to do a causal thinking. Just because two lines are going up, that doesn't mean they are correlated. We are going to talk more about the correlation trap, but this is an area where thinking becomes powerful. Idea generation. There are a lot of people who are building startups from the scratch just based off an idea. But the hypothesis design, that is human. And finally, stakeholder influence. Documentation, let AI do that. You understand which department has what priority. You create that likability that, this person gets things done. When I say likability, it's not that, oh, I have to be nice and good to everybody and smile. No. If you can create a branding around yourself that this girl gets things done, if she says she'll do it, she'll do it. You don't need anything. You like 80% of the battle is won. So this is what AI will commoditize, and this is what nobody can commoditize. And we just have to upgrade ourselves on these skill sets, right? So AI PM era upgrade, PRDs, you make better bets. Backlogs, you find out partial delivers. Requirement gathering, you do diagnosis of the problem. Progress report, you show business impact. And coordination of teams, blah, blah, blah. You drive judgment under uncertainty. And this is one of the key skills what I feel as a product scientist or a very good product manager should have. They should become uncertainty managers. Like if you're building something from 0 to 1, you don't even know if this product should exist in the market because nothing has been there before. So that uncertainty, if you can quantify, no one can like take your place ever. So yeah, AI won't take away your jobs, but what muscles you need, what it means, and why it matters. Again, as I say, influence is like the biggest of all, and yeah, Lisa. Influence is the biggest of all, and that becomes your PM leverage. Now, I know you're not interested in all this. You want to know, okay, and this, how do I become a PM next? So let's look at the different transition paths from your role to becoming a product manager. But before we go there, I want to do a quick chat. What do you what comes to your mind when you think of, a product manager? What do you think they do? Forget whatever I said. What do you think they do? If I can just get 2, 3 words, that'll be useful.
If you all don't want to unmute yourself, feel free to just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I got to stop share so that I can see the chat once.
I can read it out to you if you want.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that'll be helpful.
Yeah. Shaista says represents the customer.
What was it? Interact with customer?
Represents the customer.
Represent customer.
Anyone else? Drawing product based on customer feedback. That's from Srishti. Giving direction or a vision. Sheetal says product strategy, vision, manages its life cycle.
Yes. Anything else anyone can think of? I have 5 already. If no, let's start. And
yeah,
if you look at, we have something else.
Ava says identify the right problem and help build a solution. And Shaista says identify what the customer needs without them stating it.
100%. I love this answer. Understand what customer needs without them stating. I know all of you will go ahead to become great PMs. And one of the most frustrating points in your life as a PM would be sitting on a customer call, telling them what you're planning to build, and asking them for feedback. And they will say something absolutely different. And then you show them one, Figma, a wireframe, or a lovable dashboard in today's day and age, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I want this. I really want this." I'm like, "But if I look at your transcript, that is complete opposite of it." So in a lot of cases, I'm not going to quantify it, but in a lot of cases, even you as a customer, you don't sometimes know what you want. And deciphering that, that unwritten rule or reading between the lines is one of the key skills of a PM. And as you all said here, like feedback from customers, vision, strategy, life cycle, there is like so many aspects of it. It's like, blind, a bunch of blind people touching an elephant. They like see a very different thing, but that elephant is actually a PM. You don't need a single skill set to become a product manager. Anything that you're doing today can easily transpose and like become a path to becoming a product manager. But overall, like if we see, the entire role of product management is divided into four big chunks. First is a core product manager. Now, who is a core PM? This is actually the easiest point of entry for any profile, a person from any profile to enter into product management. Because a core PMS person is a person who is responsible for maintaining an already built product. So they improve on, a existing product experience. And why I say this is the easiest part, because mostly in corporates, what happens, they have this, a enterprise product suite that they sell, and that is their USP. Until and unless it's a startup, they will mostly build on top of that product. Anything new comes up, AI comes up, they will create AI native workflows, but they're going to build on top of it. So entering as a core PM becomes the easiest path. And for that, you understand the user journeys, you understand workflows, you understand, where users are dropping off in the workflow, how you can change it, like how you can ensure retention is beyond XYZ amount of time. Whenever a renewal cycle comes in, how do you ensure that people don't drop off and they pay off for the next 3 years or something like that. So that's the job of a core PM, to ensure that the core of the product is safe. What are the strength of this kind of a person? Empathy. I think you all said that, right? And this is the highest said point, that representing customers, feedback from customer, understanding what they want, or what they don't even know they want. So user empathy is an extremely important intangible skill. You cannot like do a certification in user empathy. It's something you build by talking to people, talking to your friends. Like, your girlfriend comes in and says that she's unhappy, something happened at work, something happened with parents. Listen to her, because listening is like one of the biggest skill. And once you grow in a product role, you'll have like junior PMs and senior PMs as you become a director plus reporting onto you. A lot of time they will be really disengaged in their work, and they will come and tell you that, okay, I don't think I can do this anymore. And you have to have that empathy for them to feel that they're hurt, because you have to retain your team as well, right? So this is like a very essential journey. I'm sorry, I'm going to rush a little because we're running short on time, but I just wanted to emphasize on how important empathy is. And then comes prioritization, what to build first, what to build next. Now, in a workflow, of course, the end goal is the big shiny object. But to get there has to be a prioritization roadmap. You have to do the non shiny work first, so that the foundation on which you're building is solid. Stakeholder alignment, extremely crucial, because every stakeholder, nobody is reporting to you. You have authority over nobody. But without their approval, you cannot even get the job done. So that also becomes like where, again, empathy comes into picture. You understand what their pain points are and you ensure that is being met. What is the risk? Avoid shipping requested feature. Trust me when I say that, as a PM, everybody will come and tell you, I want this yesterday, I haven't got this. There's going to be a lot of noise. And as they say, the squeakiest wheel gets the oil. We do tend to attend to people who are loud because we don't want escalations. But this is where you have to have that product scientist mindset, that behavioral pattern, that why I should ship this, how it is going to impact my metrics, how it is going to impact and the business from an economic lens. Next is a growth PM. This is where, so there's an analyst here, right? I think Abha is the financial analyst. This is your part. This is where you move your transition path to a growth PM. These PMs are like number heavy. They do experiments. Like they take care of activations. They take care of referrals. They look into fancy big dashboards with numbers popping in and out all the day, and they just create that mind map out of some sci-fi movie, and they know what the future looks like. That is where having financial acumen, having understanding of comfort with numbers, quantitative analysis, like the quant thing, comes really, really handy. What are their strengths? They understand metrics. They understand the commercial part of things. Like if I sell XYZ amount units today, in my entire funnel, I will be able to grow this product by X%. That kind of vision is what they have. But again, there is a risk to it. They start treating every problem as a funnel problem, which it is not. So just be conscious that you don't get too myopic and too consumed by your inert skill set that you bring in. Then comes platform PM. I think Shrishti, you are a SD at Microsoft, right? This is your like easiest path to become a product manager, because a platform PM is a PM who is building systems, APIs, products, and infrastructure on which other folks can build on, right? Like Azure is a platform on which everybody is building. So it is so easy for an engineer working on uh, building these platforms. I will not try to take names again, building these platforms to become the product manager for that platform. So this is where engineers, QA testers, anybody from the engineering side of the wing can easily move into product management. And they're highly in demand. Like, trust me, especially with AI, knowing how to code, a PM who understands a code is like, oh my God, everybody loves them. Their strength, empathy, scalability, technical fluency, the biggest strength. However, the risk is, since they come from the technical delivery mindset, sometimes it becomes like every problem becomes a technical delivery problem. They stop looking into the business side of things, and that is the blind spot you have to avoid. And finally, we have innovation PM. I think there was this entrepreneur who had signed in, and I really wanted to catch up with her today and tell her that this is the innovation PM is the easiest 0 to 1 route for an entrepreneur to become a PM. Entrepreneurs mostly are product managers, like by default, but in a corporate setup, this becomes the easiest route, because this is where everything is on paper. We don't have a stable core product. We just have an idea. We don't know how the market is going to react to it. But this is where you have a vision, you have an idea, and you're performing experiments to prove that your idea has strength. And that is how you're going and convincing VCs, you're going and convincing managers, like entrepreneurs, right? Where you have entrepreneurship wing within a big organization, you're convincing your head of products and VP, saying that this is like one pilot that I have run, and I want to make it something that we can scale as a plugin to begin with, but it has economic value. And that's how you win. So your archetype, SD, you become platform PM, AI PM, technical PM, analytics, growth, product scientist, experimentation PM. Designers, they become code PM, user journey PM, discovery PMs, architects, platform PM, infra PM, systems PM, founders, innovation PM, and students and freshers, absolutely go and tell your mentor, coach, your boss that you are doing this. You are a analyst today, or let's say you're a SDE1 or like a system engineer today, but you see yourself becoming a associate PM in next 2 years. Ask your manager, ask your boss, could you design a path for me? Find out who is a product leader in your product team. Talk to them and say that I'm interested. I have done this part of the engineering unit or engineering work, but now I think I understand what to build. Now I want to know why we are building it so that I can work, because I know how to build. And when I know the why of building, I can actually create more value. That is your pitch. So I have a quiz which I had created on Lovable, but I think we are running short on time. Like, Karen, I'll wait for your cue. Should we run the quiz?
We have a little less than an hour to go. So I would say whatever you think you want to do a short one, can we do a few questions? But if it's a long one, then
It's a short one. I think any one
go
volunteer,
ahead.
yeah, would
Go
be good
ahead.
enough. Can I just get one person to come up? Can you see the screen? Right. This was. Who is the volunteer? Be fast. Or else I'll just start with my name and I want someone to
You
answer
can
me.
start with your name and
Your name
then,
is-
yeah,
So when you look at a product, what do you naturally notice first?
everyone can put in their responses A, B, C, or D in the chat. Kavya says A,
I want one
Shrishti
person
says,
to
Shrishti
say
says
because
D, Ava says A.
okay, let's go with
Go with the majority.
A,
yeah,
I
go.
think, where the
Okay, let's
user
go with
journey feels confusing, broken, or
Yeah.
frustrating.
got it. I want one person because then you get that person's archetype. And I'm going to share this link so
Okay,
people
okay, all
go
right.
back to
Okay,
yeah.
so Kavya responded first. Maybe we'll go with her. Kavya, are you okay with carrying on?
What was the response? A?
A was the first one, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, next one. Which problem sounds most exciting to solve for you, Kavya?
Hi. So I would say increasing activation, retention,
Perfect.
paid conversion.
What kind of metric do you instinctively care about the most?
I think I would say C or B. Yeah, B in this
Right?
case.
What frustrates you most in product teams?
Um, Let me just go through all of them. Teams. I would say A because yeah, there's been I mean yeah, based on personal experience, yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Um,
what sounds most like you?
Sentence sounds most like you. I think A, yeah.
All right. You're given a vague feature request. What do you do first?
Um, uh, I think ask what assumption about, yeah, I mean, ask more about the request. So D, yeah.
Perfect. What type of work gives you the most energy?
I would say A, yeah.
All
And
right.
D also, but A, yeah, we'll go with A, sorry.
What's a likely blind spot?
Um, I would probably over focus on, yeah, the vision, yeah.
Okay.
D, sorry, yeah.
You're right. Yeah, got it. Which case you would choose?
Um, A because I've worked on it a lot, yeah.
Okay. How do you define a successful PM?
Mm, slippage, device. A, yeah.
Okay. Uh, your team has limited engineering capacity. What would you prioritize?
Foundation, the smallest experiment. A again.
Right? And the last one, which PM superpower do you most want to be known for?
A again.
Alrighty. So you're a core PM. That's how your answer is mapped up. So I'll share this link with everybody. You can go and try this experiment. It gives you what your strengths, what you have to watch out for, what are your best fit roles, what is your interview positioning. That when you go and talk to your manager and say that I want a core PM role, you said I'm strong at translating user pain point into product improvement. That improves adoption, task completion, and customer value. So that's your like the first step, and your next upgrade would be a growth PM, right? So yeah, I know
This is
we're running
very true.
short on time. I'll just jump back to the slide, and we go back to our product scientist presentation. There you go. I'll go back to presentation mode. So yeah, a little bit about tooling. This is like just a browsing sort of a slide because there was a question in the enrollment where, sorry, water break, where they said what AI tools I should be using. I would strongly recommend one thing about tooling, that when you're thinking of building something, right? Lovable, V0 are like really beautiful tools, or anything like Lovable is really useful because you just prompt, right? You wipe code and you see the thing coming in live in front of you. And sometimes what I do, I go to GPT and I say that, I want to build XYZ. So I give it my vision and I say, can you create a lovable prompt for it? And it gives a long, lovable prompt. And you can tell it, okay, I want the design to be like more McKinsey style, or I want the design to be like very funny, like, my personality. I'm a 22-year-old girl. I love pigs. So that sort of a thing. And it gives you a prompt. You take it and put it on lovable. You get a first cut. Now you iterate and you make it more like you. And when you see your problem as a workable solution right in front of you, your ideas just like juices start running, and becomes really easy to build something from a prototype to actually enterprise scale product. So that's like from my experience. So I think this will be shared with all of you, so you can just go back and check this out. And we come to the most important part of today's session, the product scientist lens. So I believe we all are product managers. Like, no matter what you're doing today, you are basically helping build a tangible or a non tangible product, which is helping a certain set of people and generating money for the economy. So, by default, we all are product managers. But what or who is a product scientist? It's a little different persona. In the sense, this person does everything that a product manager is doing, but the rationale behind is not, okay, let's put a AI chatbot because that's the fancy thing, everybody is doing it. This mentality shift is what I called a product scientist, because they come to a decision based off experiments. They see a problem, they create a hypothesis, they prove that hypothesis, and then they change the decision based off that hypothesis. How or why did this concept or framework come to me? No, I didn't dream of it. I have better dreams, but I saw something happening in my own one of my workplaces where people pretty up came and said that we have to create a XYZ product. Can you prototype it? I did it. They loved it. This happened on a Tuesday. Thursday evening, when I want to log off, this really person higher up the scale tells me, you know what? We need to create 20 more of this stuff. I'm like, why? Oh, because the first one works. And you know what? All our competitors are doing it. That is not a reason to build something. If I am trying to build a fitness app and my best friend has built a fitness app, and she tells me, you know what, ensure everybody completes your onboarding workflow, because if they do it, they will stay for 2 weeks. I buy what she's doing. I create a fancy fitness app and I ensure that they do the onboarding workflow. But my clients are dropping off. I don't have retention. Why is this gap? Maybe my product, my customer is slightly different from what my friend has built. How do you understand that? This is where you apply your hypothesis and testing that hypothesis mindset. This is what the correlation trap is, where most product roadmaps go to waste. So I had created a visual way of showing it, but I know we are crunch of time, so we can come back to this later. But let's again, take this story and we think about why roadmaps are evil in certain way. Because we have this assumption that this is my product, A is my product, and historically, products that has been built in this domain of A, all successful products have done this. This has led to this, and this has led to that. This was all good and fine, fancy so far, but with the advent of AI, things become a little bit tricky because the model that you're fine tuning is based on your assumption, your biases to a certain extent. The data that you're feeding in comes from user who has come in with a set of assumption. So what it happens, the lines get blurred and the objective you're trying to achieve sometime gets tricky. So that's why differentiating causation and correlation becomes extremely important. What has been built in the market, what is there in the market, and what has been their success strategy is by no means a roadmap for me to follow. If I'm, let's say, I produce mouse, okay, like I produce some kind of digital mouse, I cannot go and copy the roadmap of another guy who is producing digital mouse because, oh, they have done this, it looks fancy, I should do it. My vision, the economic value that I want to add should be very clear and it should be very testable. It shouldn't be like, oh, I think this is going to happen. I have this gut feeling. Oh, I have to ship fast. So I have to think. I just feel like I saw this dream, all my things are clear because when you sleep, you reset and blah, blah. That's not how it works. Things have to be quantifiable. And you can only reach a quantifiable metric when you're running some kind of pilot testing, some kind of experiments around it. So the core pillars of a product scientist is system over roadmaps. So roadmap is like a set of features. Q1, I'm going to ship this. In Q1 Jan, I'm going to ship this. Feb, I'm going to ship this. March, I'm going to ship this. There is going to be spillover. I'm going to take care in April. That's your roadmap. But when you think in system, you think like, okay, I am building a fitness app, not for everybody, but for people in the corporate sector who have very less time. And then there is like small fitness activity that they can accommodate while they're sitting in their desk, neck rotations, etc. During their commute, they can just drop off one station before and walk, not in the summer, but in the winter, they can walk to office. So you think in system, like that entire from point A to point B, the entire behavior of your customer, you think from that lens, right? So your traditional PM will be like, okay, what do we put next in the roadmap? Let me see what my competitor is doing. But you are more focused on what should I do that will impact my outcome. Why will people with sedentary lifestyle, 12 hours work day, log into my fitness app and not go to some other fitness app? That's why systems over roadmap comes into picture. The hypothesis to impact loop, right? So every initiative, like now we break down from roadmap to a feature. within the roadmap. So a traditional PM is like, okay, let's create a notification button so that they're aware they have to do the workout, right? But when you are like thinking from a hypothesis driven product management or data driven product management standpoint, you're thinking, okay, what data do I have to know that this is what the next step of the user will be? Not because I will do this, not because I've seen my husband doing this, not because I've seen my sister doing this. It's why that will happen. I'll run a quick survey with 3, 4 of my corporate friends and just randomly over lunch. Okay, what do you do? Okay, you can't work out. What do you think will help you? You get some input, and then you create a small Excel sheet, do summation, divide by the number of people, and you get a percentage of people saying X, people saying Y. That is your hypothesis and how it is going to impact it. Identification, not intuition. We have spoken about it. No correlation is not causation. And the final one, ethics as a product in the day and age of AI, I think this is the most crucial part. I was a PM when we didn't have AI PMs, right? And one of the most beautiful part of being a PM at that phase was like, oh, compliance. We have a team which is looking into compliance. So I'm going to build my stuff. Compliance is going to push back. Then I'm going to spend 2 months fighting with them. And then we are going to reach a middle ground and we are going to launch it or we're going to ship it. But now, trust is a part of your product design. You cannot do without explainability. You cannot do without audit, especially when you're building in like high paid, highly regulated domains like finance, healthcare, consumer products, where people's identity, people's health, people's money, their behavioral patterns are available to you as data, and you're basically mining it to ensure that your product gives better value. So ethics becomes like the most essential part of your entire, pillars for becoming a data driven, like the smartest product manager in the room who brings impact. So this is a quick, mapping of what a traditional PM do. When it comes to the primary goal, they will just ship the roadmap on time, and wow, I have achieved. But a PM who's looking at the economic sense, they will ensure that they're closing this hypothesis to impact loop. It is not about shipping features. It is about shipping things which has an impact. I mean, with the thing is, you soon, like once you enter into the product management space, you'll get this thing called capex and opex, where you get an amount of money allocated to you to build something. And when you have like, oh, I have 30, let's say I have 700,000 USD to build something very small. You're so excited. You want to like build like the bestest thing in the world and just push it. So that is the fun part, right? Having that understanding with this money, what I can build with the minimum, expenditure, so that I can save some money and I can show that profitability, then no manager in your annual review, your quarterly review, is going to say that, okay, this was fine, you did well, but it's achieved, you just achieved your goal. No, you exceeded. You exceeded because you saved the money that was allocated to you and you made more money. And that is only possible when you have that clarity on what needs to be shipped rather than what's the most beautiful thing you can ship. Again, like we have this, like as a product manager, when you have like everything in place, you have your product problem framing done, and you say that, okay, to build this, I need 3 developers, I need 2 QA, I need this and that. What you're doing is you're boxing it. You're telling that, oh, you give me 3 developers who knows Java, who knows this, and I'll get it done. But this is where the problem is. It's just going to be 3 people who are coming in looking at a project. If you say that I need to solve this, churn problem in my project, and you go and you talk to engineers who are really interested in this problem, you can just get one guy who says that, wow, I think I can do this. And that's all you need. Because this guy who comes to your team is already excited about it. He knows what needs to be done. So half the battle is won. Like he or she, after the office hours, with not even after office hours, like he or she will actually be dedicated to be solving this problem with you, rather than being just another engineer in the team. So create that ownership radius, that halo around that we are solving for this hazard, because otherwise in at the end of 6 months, 30% people are going to churn, revenue is going to nosedive, and we don't want to be in that situation, right? Similarly, data usage. What traditionally PMs would do, okay, we create a metric dashboard, we have these numbers, red, amber, green, we are done. What you do, you walk your leadership on all the tiny experiments you have done. For every feature, for every idea, for every bet, how are you sure that this is going to work 60% of time? It's not a number you're pulling out of thin air. You have done a background work. And this extra effort, I know it sounds extra, it will just wow your leadership. They'll be like, okay, in the next cycle, I want this person working closer to me. I want this person as a senior PM from a PM. I want this person as a director from a senior PM, because they think in economic lens, right? So this is what the 5-step process of hypothesis to impact loop looks like. First is the causal question. What behavior is actually driving the outcome? Until and unless you know the behavior, you do not have what it needs to build that hypothesis. Let's take an example of a music sharing app, right? They say that if a person is logging in, creating an avatar of their picture, and creating a playlist, they will stay. And you just force feed, you just ensure that your version of Spotify that you've created, it's going to be like a 1 million ARR business. And you want everybody to come and create their avatar. You make like a beautiful like set of avatar pictures, and you just push, use all psychological nudges to ensure that they create a playlist. But even after doing all this, people drop off. Why? Maybe creating an avatar and creating a playlist are not the behaviors which are driving the outcome. By the way, stop me anytime, okay? Because I feel like I've been talking for a while and I don't know if everybody has slept off. So stop me, ask questions. And right after this, I'm going to ask you questions otherwise. So that's what you do. Next, you come to hypotheses. What do we believe will happen if we stop the cycle at a certain point and we introduce some new element? That's your hypothesis. How do you prove what will happen? You do a small set of experiment. Whatever you learn from your experiment either makes you more confident or makes you less confident. If it makes you more confident, you should go scale it. If it makes you less confident, you should iterate it, pivot it, do another round of experiment. Or if all your experiments points towards that this is like a dead end, kill it. I strongly feel that a kill switch is so essential for any new feature that is being launched, because we get so passionate about the product and we attach ourselves that we don't think about killing that product. So having that kill switch handy is extremely helpful in your entire persona of being a data-driven product manager. Now, questions. Now, I really want to hear people interacting with me now. Anyone, anything. It's impossible that you don't have questions.
Could you take a look at the
Chat?
chat?
Yep. I think this is the problem of screen sharing. I can add some time.
So basically, what tells you a hypothesis is worth pursuing
Worth
rather than
pursuing
just
and
noise?
beautiful. I just love this. This is where you perform the experiment. I don't know. You don't know. You have a hypothesis that I feel if I create a fitness app for people with sedentary lifestyle and I add like a continuous, white noise as a background, I think that will be very comforting for people, who are like in a very stressful environment. And then they just listen to that music and like while doing their shoulder rolls, etc. It'll be like, it'll have that meditative effect while they're working out. But I don't know. It is having that effect on me. Will it have it on my partner? I don't know. So that is where you run your pilots. That is where you do your A/B tests. So, and this hypothesis is worth pursuing. So when it comes to hypothesis, there is a major problem. I wish I had a whiteboard. There's a major problem, and there are like 5 hypotheses that you can think of can be a possible solution to that problem. And you run small experiments. So every hypothesis has like 1 experiment, 2 experiments. And every experiment either increases your confidence more on that hypothesis or it reduces your confidence. If it reduces, you try it another way and it still reduces, you kill it. It increases your confidence, you go ahead and you ship an MVP. And once you ship an MVP, you see how people are reacting to that MVP. If I tell you about a fitness app which has beautiful meditative music and it helps you work out while you're working, you will have your own vision of it in your head. But if I create a lovable prototype or like any prototype and I show you and you hear that music and you try it out, then you're like, oh yeah, this is nice. Or like, oh my God, I won't want that annoying music. That's the reaction you capture. So does that help? I'll actually create a worksheet and send after this meeting to get that entire view in place. All right, let's move. Let me know if you can see my screen because this is a new laptop. I'm still getting used to it. Okay, next is, yes?
No, we're good. Go ahead.
Okay, next is metric debt. And this is something I want to show via a small application and not just keep talking that I'm doing. So there you go. Let me share my windows this time. So that. Great. So this is the metric tree that we have. A very typical day, like I start this with a case study before diving into what metrics are and how you create it. So there is this dashboard that you present to your VC, your boss, your head of products, where you have 3 metrics for, let's say, this hypothetical fitness app or any Spotify, anything that you have built. And you see that daily users have gone up, feature usage has gone up, and sessions have gone up. Everybody celebrates you. You are sure you're going to get promoted the next cycle. But if you look at outcomes, the retention is at 0, revenue is at 0, and churn has actually went up, which is like a negative thing, right? Like 9% churn is like bad. So what happened? This looks so beautiful. What happened here, right? This is where metric debt comes into picture. Where if you don't track the right metrics, if you don't identify the right metrics, then you're not just accruing tech debt, you're basically losing 6 months to 1 year of your product success story. So if I ask you guys, like, which metric do you think fooled the team in this above use case, which one would you say was the metric? Let's go to the chat. Come on, tell me which metric it is.
You can unmute yourself and speak, or you can.
Yeah, now I understood. I can go to the chat and check. So
Chat it is.
okay, in interest of time, it's basically all of the above. Your daily user is wrong because you can actually have, if you have a freemium product, I can create, dummy username, email IDs, and I can log in and get the new user advantage. Feature usage. Because I'm using a dummy user, like I like one feature, but I don't want to pay for it. So I'm creating multiple users and I'm using that feature and I'm going and I'm leaving. Let's say I have an app which basically releases a song before it hits the market, or like it, you get the songs in movie trailers, right? So I give you the full version of the song. So you go with a new, and but you can hear that song only once in a free account. So I create multiple user accounts. I go, I listen to the song multiple times. Nobody's going to do it, but just hypothetically, right? And session counts. They all basically don't contribute to the real metrics which you're tracking. And all your metrics invariably should point to three things: user, are we getting incremental, unique users, usage, and finally revenue. If these three things are not moving in the right direction, boss, something is wrong with your entire metric selection. And this is where, metric debt becomes more dangerous because they give you false confidence. You're partying when everything is actually breaking at the end of at the other end of things. Products look very successful, but they're not creating an economic value. You have this vanity wins. Your entire roadmap becomes messy because you take these numbers and you feel you're doing great, and you build your roadmap on top of these wrong decisions. So it's like wrong decisions accumulating on top of wrong decisions. And that's not a good place to be in, right? So, which of these is most likely to create more metric debt? I'll just let you, I'll share this, I'll let you guys play with it. I'll immediately come to the metric tree. So, when you are building your entire metric portfolio, what you're going to be tracking, what your dashboard is going to reflect, ask questions. What value are we creating? What user behavior drives that value? What early signals can predict success? What cannot break? And what could mislead us, right? Now that gives you your North Star metric. This is like you are going to follow this metric through and through till the end of the life of the product. This is your North Star metric. Then comes your metric layer. These are behaviors which are going to feed into your North Star metrics. Then comes your proxy metrics, early signal that is going to tell you, okay, everything is looking fancy, but my proxy metrics tell me that this might not survive 18 months. If so, let me enjoy this success, but I start tweaking things so that I'm not doomed for a cliff. Like I don't fall off a cliff at the end of 18 months. Metrics that help you decide whether you're going to scale, which of course fills in like from your proxy metrics, or you're going to kill it. Now, two very important, adjacent metrics are guardrail metrics and your counter metrics, like that challenge whether, the hypothesis that you have your null hypothesis, right? So these metrics that are going to challenge that if, the team is actually making the right interpretations. Oh, just because something is going on and on and on, and I don't have a counter, point to it, then things can just go awry very fast. So this is how your entire metric tree structure looks like, right? Now, this is something that I've created. I know we are short on time, so I'm going to skip this, but I'm going to share this with you all. What you can do, the initiative that you are building, so you can architect this for your own product, where you can give your initiative, your user segment, the product goals that you have, and the business outcome you're looking at. And this live canvas on the right side, my right side, gives you what your North Star metric is going to be, what your input metrics are going to be, blah, 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 and helps you build that. So I also have an example, which I'm just going to load for you to see. This is like if you're building a product for, tech PM mentorship platform, which like I'm building like this entire masterclass as a product. If I'm trying to do that, what is my North Star metric? I wanted to like do this assignment with all of you, but I know we are running short of time. So I'm just going to fast track through this. So in this case, what is my business outcome that I'm looking at? I want to increase meaningful PM career milestones such as interview, portfolio completions, job offers, etc. So my North Star metrics becomes mentees are actually achieving a meaningful PM career milestone within 6 months. Because if this is not happening, no matter how beautiful my voice is, which I know is not, how beautiful my background is, which is like white, it doesn't matter. The real outcome is, are my mentees getting a career benefit at the end of a 6 months? It is time centric. It is not, are my mentees getting career benefit? Oh yeah, she got like some role somewhere 3 years down the line. Nobody cares, right? So you have that time frame. What are my input metrics in this case? First mentorship session completed, portfolio completed, they did a mock interview. Like, how engaged are they with my entire program? So we have my North Star metrics, we have my input metrics, which are feeding into it, we have my proxy metrics, and my guardrail. Am I burning people out? Are people really dissatisfied? How many drop off after the first session? And my counter metrics. I have high number of sessions, but no progress. So you see, high number of session I'm celebrating, but if there is no progress, my North Star metric won't be achieved. So that's a counter metric that I track. High satisfaction, but low portfolio completion. People are very happy. They enjoyed the session, but nobody took that quiz of PMR type after the event. That means they enjoyed it while it lasted, but that's it. There's no recall value to it. What my kill switch is going to be: no measurable improvement in portfolio completion, or there was no career milestone after 8 weeks, right? So this is like an example that I had, but you can take this link back, create your own artifacts, and you can either download it or edit the metric tree, give your own problems to this, and it is going to throw the solution back at you. So I'll stop sharing, go back to my presentation deck. I'm sorry for doing this flip-flopping. Oh, what happened? One second. One second, one second. Why is my presentation deck not showing up? Just a second. What's going on? What's going on? All right, I think it should come up right now. Sorry for wasting that time. So that is what we learned about the metric tree. Now, any question before I show one sample of building a metric tree?
There is a question in the chat. How often should I check my metrics so they don't become unreliable?
Absolutely. For someone like me, it is easy to become obsessed, and especially how I remember you're a finance ops lady, right? So you do check your numbers very frequently. Like, oh, what happened? The market went down, the market went up, it's red, it's green. Don't do that obsessive behavior with your metric tree. Check them in 2 weeks, because people's behavior takes time to change. I can launch a really cool app right now. Nobody is going to bother until and unless they know the neighbor is using. That's how, they use influencer marketing, and then they use, because people get influenced by other people to use something. So if you look at your metric tree every 30 minutes or every day, you'll get disappointed. You think this entire thing is like crazy. I should just go back. So no, in the initial phases, it is going to be excruciatingly painful. Check it like, I don't know, in 2 weeks. Check it in like in a month's time. As and when you're running a campaign, you check it back then. Once you have a steady flow of user, like let's say you have 100,000 users logging in every day, that is when you have to check in daily to see how your counter metrics are operating. So have a look at the dashboard every alternate day. Don't obsess over it early, but with time, with momentum, you have to be very keen on your counter metrics more than your North Star metrics, because they are going to decide that maybe sometime everything is looking beautiful, but it is not. So that's how you have to optimize and view. So I don't know which one I'm sharing right now, so I'll just reshare and go to the fit logic metric tree that I shared. So this is the fitness app, which I brought up a couple of times. And this is what the dashboard was looking like, where there's download, there's users, there is push, but then there is no habit formation, there is no subscription, and then the renewal risk is very, very high. Why is it so? Because in a fitness app or any consumer B2C app, it is easy to fake growth with ads. If I spend 2 lakh on an ad, I am going to have a good amount of user. But if at the end of 2 weeks, I cannot show that the user actually stayed, I cannot prove anything to my VC. They are not going to fund it. So that loophole is gone where you pay for ads, you burn cash, you show users, and you promise a future, but that is not happening. But how can you actually make it happen? Is where you build a system where you have your net revenue retention, how much net money that you're getting is your North Star. So no matter how many people are coming in, no matter they're spending their entire 24 hours on my app, if I am not making money, I am doing something very, very, very wrong. So what happens? This becomes the root of your tree. You have a tree, you have roots. This is your fundamental foundation, the root. Then you go at your branches. Now there are 3 branches, right? Habit loop, like how do I create retention? How do I create, cost acquisition versus lifetime value? Or how do I monetize? You cannot attack 3 branches together. You'll fail. Focus on which is most important. 3 are equally important, but what you can achieve like really quick, like the quick hanging fruits, right? What can I do to, let's say, retain users? Let's say I figured out by doing a hypothesis, my hypothesis that if users complete 3 workouts in a week, they're going to come back the next week. I test it. I see, oh my God, it's working out. So if I had 40% believe in my hypothesis, it went out to 70% right now. And I repeat that loop and I see, oh my God, this is really, really happening. So all my energy, all my resource goes to ensuring that no matter what, I will make people do 3 workouts in a week. And by at the end of the week, they see that beautiful graph that they lost this much of calorie and they can like now go and have a pizza. And they come back next week and they repeat it. So that's the branch that I hang on to and I move, right? And what are the leaves of that branch? Time to first workout. Is there any friction layer for them to do the first workout? My video is not loading. My workout is stopping. There is latency. Or if I have AI feature, which kind of measures the movement and says, gives some recommendation, it is like haywire, it is hallucinating bad. I fix those things, right? The push notification that, oh, your week is ending, you have just completed 1 workout, finish 2, weekend is coming, do that workout. If my push notification is going on a Sunday night at 11 p.m., it's of no use. So those are the areas that I take care of. Similarly, for acquisition, I'm sorry, what happened? For acquisition efficiency, the app store conversions, okay, referral, influencer referral, those becomes my leaves that I have to pay attention to. So that's how you figure out what is the root of your product, like the root metric for your product or a feature. What are the branches that you need to fix? And what are the leaves within the branches that you need to focus so that your branch is strong? And if your branch is strong, your root is strong. And then your tree is happy and alive. So that's how you look at building a metric tree. Again, there is a activity here where how do you these gets a bit technical. I think I need another session to actually help you understand how to prune that tree, so forget that. But you can go use this to create your own metric tree where you put your inputs, what you're building on, and it gives you a boardroom script to go and tell your VP, like, this is what you can actually apply in your day-to-day job or for a small project that you're doing to impress the product leader to get that product management role. You can just go input the golden leaf, that is like the first time to first workout. Is there any loops to any friction to that? What is your branch? What is your root metric? What are your reallocated initiatives? What are your success metrics? What are your kill metrics? And then it gives you a script that you can go and tell your boss that I identified blah, 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 because of this, blah, blah, blah will happen. There is a time to it, and then there is quantifiable value. Your boss is impressed, you got that role. So that's how you basically use number and a product science mindset and like a hypothesis driven approach to win at work. So this was more or less like entire argument in favor of being a data driven product manager who cannot, and I emphasize on this with my life, be replaced by AI, by AGI, by quantum computing, or whatever is coming next. Because this is based on pure human thinking. It is based on numbers, which cannot lie. And it is based on your interest in doing something which cannot be replicated by, three other people who's queued in for that job. Because you bring in something unique. You talk in numbers which has direct impact in the bottom line and the top line of the company, and everybody loves dollars. So that was what product scientist was all about. And now I open this platform for questions, queries, some fun activity, whatever you want to do.
Would you like to share your contact information or maybe LinkedIn or something where people can connect with you if they have
Yes,
further
yes,
questions?
absolutely, absolutely. I'll just drop my LinkedIn
Sure.
ID here. And a friend of mine and also a member of GHCI, Priyanka Kamath, she runs
The
100
100 giga.
gigas. Yeah, yeah, that's a brilliant place if you want to just go and get some hands-on experience. Because I have worked with her. She is like the most lovely woman in this world, and she's a part of AI, Kiran, and all these communities. And it's amazing. She takes in college students and she hones them to become entrepreneurs because it's a beautiful thesis. Like for a country like India, where there's like so many job seekers, if you become another job seeker, you're just another person. But if you build something on your own, you are creating job for 10 other people. And that's a unique place to be in. So that's I really shout out to Priyanka. She's amazing. And you want to talk about product scientist or some, you know, thesis that you have and you want to chat more on the experiments, feel free to reach out. I'll like be more than happy to learn from you as well. And yeah, it's a lifetime relationship. I'm not disappearing at 7 p.m. So I'm here. Any questions, anything else? And I would really love some feedback, like good, bad, ugly. This is my hypothesis, and that's going to be the result of my experiment to understand where I need to improve. I feel I talk very fast, to be honest. Like, so just tell me what was wrong, and I'll do better next time.
Feedback, anybody?
Did everybody sleep off during the session? Be honest.
Hello, hi, Amrita. This is Sheetal. I work with Four Citizens India, and really interesting session, I would say. Though I've been into product management for past 15 plus years, and initial 9 years in a banking. Few of the things that you brought up in terms of hypotheses and all was really something new that I'm taking away. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for the session.
I actually really appreciate your feedback. And I'm glad that this resonated with you because banking is crazy. I was with HSBC, so I
Yeah.
know it's like
I was
so
looking at your
regulated.
profile, credit risk, all of that. So I'm
Oh, yeah.
finding uh, some connections because our team is also growing a lot on the credit risk areas, and obviously something that I would love to collaborate with you. Maybe I'll be in touch with you.
More than excited. Yeah, sure. How about my first two students, Shrishti and Abha, the juniors? Was it worth it? Did I answer your questions how to move to a PM role?
Yeah, definitely. Still here, not sleeping. Definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, and really insightful. Yes.
Thank you.
All righty.
All
Anyone
right.
else? Yeah, else we can. 6:52. You spoke fast enough
6 minutes
that we're
back.
done. But yeah, please do share the links that you said that people would be
Sure.
interested in. I know everyone's spread all over the place, but if you can put it on the India community group, then I think that
I'll do
one
that.
place would suffice. Yeah. And I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Amrita, for your time. And
Thank
I've
you,
connected you with
Amrita.
the link.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks,
Thank
Shreya.
you,
Not a problem.
everybody, for
Sure.
joining. Thank you so much.
Have a good long weekend, everyone.
Yep. Have fun. Bye.
Bye bye. See you. Good evening.
Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye. Good evening.
Bye.
Hi, Amrita.